What if I told you that the most powerful person in the room is often the quietest? Today, we're going to explore how you can use silence to not just be heard, but to be truly felt. It's all about building influence in a way that just being loud, well, it never can.
Seriously, think about it for a second. That last meeting you were in, who did you really see as the leader? Was it the person talking the most, or was it the one who spoke only a few times, but when they did, everyone stopped and listened? That is the absolute core of what we're diving into. This quote right here, this is everything. It's the key to seeing communication in a whole new light. This isn't about being shy or not having anything to add. Not at all. It's about turning silence into a tool, something you can actually use to get an edge in pretty much any situation.
Okay, so let's get one thing straight. Not all silence is created equal. There's a massive difference between just being quiet and actively wielding your silence. So let's break down the two main archetypes. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. Passive silence is just the absence of sound. It's empty space. But active silence, that's a conscious choice. It's a strategy. And man, it is the difference between being a wallflower and being a force to be reckoned with. So on one hand, you've got the conversationalist escape artist. We all know this person, right? Their whole goal is to avoid conflict, to avoid attention. They basically use silence to hide. But on the other hand, you have the silent authority. They use silence to see, to listen, to understand the dynamics of the room. And the impact? Well, one becomes totally invisible, and the other, they become incredibly influential. So the big question is, how do you make that switch? How do you go from being an escape artist to a silent authority? Well, it all boils down to mastering one single powerful skill, the art of observation. So what is active observation? Think of it like being a detective in a conversation. You're not just sitting there waiting for a pause so you can jump in. Nope. You are actively gathering clues from body language, from someone's tone of voice, and, this is the big one, from what's not being said. Okay, so how do you actually do this? It's pretty straightforward. First, and this is so important, you have to listen to actually understand, not just to cook up your reply. Second, scan the room. Watch the nonverbal stuff, the crossed arms, the eye contact, the fidgeting. It often tells you the real story. And third, try to identify the unspoken question. What's the real issue that nobody's actually talking about? That's where the gold is.
Okay, but why is this so ridiculously effective? What's going on here? Well, it all comes down to the psychology of power.
It's almost like basic economics, right? Supply and demand. The less you say, the more valuable your words become. Scarcity creates value. So when you finally do speak, people lean in. They know it's not just noise, it's something that actually matters. And they listen. And the benefits are they're huge. You automatically project this incredible sense of confidence and composure. And because you're not talking all the time, your contributions land with so much more impact. It also does this funny thing where it encourages other people to fill that silence, and when they do, they often reveal way more than they intended to. It really creates this aura of thoughtfulness, of authority. And look, this isn't just some nice idea. The data actually backs it up. So if you look at a frequent speaker, sure, they get a decent amount of respect, maybe around a 55 on this scale. But the strategic speaker, the one who is intentional, whoa, their perceived respect just skyrockets up to 90. That is a massive difference. So yeah, this is a very real, very powerful strategy. All right, so let's put this all together. It's time to start thinking about your silence not as some passive trait you were born with, but as an active strategy you can wield. And let me be super clear here. The goal is not to just stop talking. Not at all. It's about being intentional. It's about making your silence and your words actually count. You're not just spraying words randomly. You're picking your moments, waiting for the perfect time to make your point. And so we come back to this. Their silence isn't emptiness. It's a language you can learn to speak. It's a shield you can use for protection. And it is absolutely a strategy you can use to win. It's your secret weapon.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Your silence is a strategy. Whether you realize it or not, it's saying something about you right now. So the only question is, what will yours say?